to Paul Edward Valentine Giamatti, class of 1985.
Thank you very much. I can only say that if you had ever told me while I was here that I would get the Alumni Award, I would have said you were out of your frickin' mind. And so it's very gratifying to receive this. And thank you, Dr. Curtis, and thank you, all of you. I also want to point out, I put on a suit and tie for you people. And in fact, it's the costume I wear in the play. So I just want you all to know I really prepped for this. But this is very, very gratifying. And I guess I just wanted to say that I accept it in honor of all of the wonderful friends that I had here. One of whom is here. I have one friend. He's here. And also, I really want to dedicate it to the teachers that I had here, who were not only wonderful intellects and taught me things I still have never forgotten, taught me how to read and write and think in a way that, you know, I could barely do that when I got here. And, but they were very loving, kind people who saw something in me that I didn't see, and still am amazed that they saw these things in me and encouraged me. So I just want to say thanks to them and to this place for doing a lot of great things for me in my life. Anyway. I happen to be an actor who's not comfortable talking his own character a lot, so I think I'm going to be informally interrogated by these guys. They're going to ask me some questions, and I guess you guys are going to ask me some questions too, if you'd like. And so I think that's what we're going to do. Remember, yeah? All right. Right on, go ahead, man.
So, I'm Will. I'm James Gong.
Hi,
And we're the co-presidents of the Choate Filmmaking Society,
Very
and
good.
we prepared some questions today.
All right.
To start off, I'd like to say that when we were preparing for this, we were going through some old Choate records and some things, and one of the things I found that was very interesting was that in your sophomore year of Choate, you had Mr. Lowry as your English teacher.
Yeah.
And for the first 5 weeks of the fall term, I think.
Yeah.
And I thought that was funny because he's still here and teaching.
Right.
He's actually my English teacher right now.
Excellent.
So I was able to ask him a few questions, and so I thought that was interesting. And we want to start off with asking you about your Choate experience.
Does Mr. Lowry still stab the book with the knife? Does he bring a knife to class?
Yeah, he brings a knife to class.
Can I not say that? Will I get him in trouble? Does he get a citation from his school for carrying a knife into the classroom? So he used to read Macbeth and he would stab the book.
He still does that.
Oh, awesome.
Another interesting thing I noticed was that you played a dead body while at Choate.
Yeah. Yeah, so I played a dead body. Yeah. Yeah, we did a Tom Stoppard play called The Real Inspector Hound. And there's a dead body on stage the whole time. And I think every performance they had a different person play the dead body. So they asked me to do it and I said, sure. But you know, it's like an hour and a half, that play or something. Well, I wasn't really thinking of the fact that they're gonna like kick me and stand on me and stuff like that. And half of my body fell asleep while I was doing it. And I couldn't feel the floor, and I started flipping out. I couldn't feel the floor, and I was like, I'm falling, something's happening. I can't fall, oh my God, I'm gonna die, I'm having a heart attack. I mean, you know, it was an auspicious debut.
Who's your role model at Choate?
For the dead body or for... my role model at Choate was Ed Maddox, right out there. I have to say that because he's here. I had to say that because he's here. No, but he was, he was a very important figure.
So when did you discover your passion for acting?
Well, I guess it was here. I mean, I did the play, The Children of a Lesser God, that Dr. Curtis mentioned. I think I did something before that. A student was doing a play, a weird play, and I didn't know I wanted to be in plays. I don't even know why I auditioned for it. I think I had nothing else to do, I don't know. So I went in and auditioned for this thing and got in that. It was a John Steinbeck play. It was weird. And that was, I mean, I can't even articulate what that was for me doing that. It changed my life. But that was, it was called Burning Bright. We did it in the basement of the chapel, I think. Right?
Yeah.
I'm asking you people like you would know. But yeah, we did it in the basement of the chapel. Yeah.
What was the first film you auditioned for?
First film I auditioned for, I lived in Seattle after I got out of college, and I auditioned for a movie called Past Midnight, Round Midnight, After Midnight, something like that. And I've never seen it. And it was a schlocky slasher movie. And I got the part, but I played a profoundly mentally challenged guy. I played a stable hand, and I actually beat out an actual guy who was profoundly mentally challenged. So I took the part, and I took money away from that guy. I got the part, and I worked for a day on that movie. So actually, I was very proud. The first thing I auditioned for, it was a pretty schlocky movie. Yeah.
So one of the things that we noticed is that you've played a variety of roles, all the way from man in sleeping bag to John Adams in Cinderella Man 2, and we're wondering how do you like playing the different roles, like and do you think that the smaller roles are just as important to you as the bigger roles, or?
Man in Sleeping Bag was a very important role. I remember Man in Sleeping Bag vividly doing that for some cop show. No, I mean, actually, Man in Sleeping Bag, those things are harder to do in some ways. You know, Man in Sleeping Bag, you only have 3 lines, and you sit around all day on the sleeping bag. And, you know, it's boring, and it's very hard to do. And then all of a sudden, you have to be freaking out. You have to get all worked up on a dime like that. Those are actually harder things to do. Then the bigger roles, you get to relax into them, you know, take your time with them, sort of feel your way into them. But Man in Sleeping Bag, that's it. If you don't get Man in Sleeping Bag that day, that's it for Man in Sleeping Bag. You don't want to screw up Man in Sleeping Bag. So I really do remember that actually really well. But I love playing all different kinds of people. It doesn't matter to me. But those are harder.
What's been the favorite part that you've played?
Well, the play I'm doing right now is probably one of my favorite things I've done. I mean, Hamlet's a pretty great part, and I really enjoyed it. In movies, I did a movie called The Illusionist, which I don't know if you guys have ever seen. And I got to play a German police inspector, and I got to have like a cool hat, black gloves, and stuff like that. So I got to play a detective, which was great. So that's probably my favorite.
Yeah, one of the other theater students here, Marcus Sudak, asked me to ask you, how was it moving from the stage to the screen? What was the biggest difference, and what did you have to go through to move there?
It's completely different. And it was when I played the mentally challenged stable hand in that movie. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea what I was doing. And I remember them, you know, we set it up and sort of shot it. I didn't know what the cameras were. I didn't know what the hell was going on. And then they come in for the close-ups, and the camera was right here. And I just was like, you gotta be kidding me. Get that thing. I just was like, you could take that back a good 25 feet. It's like, don't get that thing so close to me. And it also cut off the other actor from me. All of a sudden, the other actor was standing behind the camera. And so the biggest transition, the biggest change, and the thing I missed from theater was actually having the person with me in the same space. You know, it wasn't all about me trapped by a little box filming. You know, there's all this space between people. You can touch people and really be with people. And was very difficult for me. I'm still getting used to it on film, but it's completely different. You know, for the most part, when you act with your head and your whole body, I miss that too.
Also, when after a movie's done and they show it to you for the first time, what is it like seeing yourself on the screen?
It's disturbing. It's really disturbing, and I'm always shocked at how little hair I actually have. Every time I'm shocked and fresh by how little hair I actually have, and I've gotten used to it now. I'm much better being able to watch it, and sometimes I actually enjoy it. If I can forget that I'm watching myself, then I know the movie is good. You know, if I just get caught up in the story, then I'm like, oh, that was a good movie because I wasn't criticizing myself like crazy. But it's disturbing. The first couple of times I saw it, I couldn't believe that strange person out there was me. It was very, very disturbing. Say on, go ahead, man.
So on the stage, what do you do if you forget a line? I don't know.
Well, it depends. Doing Hamlet, there's not a whole hell of a lot you can do if you forget your line. Because you can't really make anything up. And you're really screwed if you drop your line during Hamlet. But most of the time, I mean, you know, film it's fine, it's easy, you can shoot it. I don't know, you just hope the other person is more on top of it than you will cover for you, basically. Or you make something up, or I actually have gotten to the point in my life where I enjoy screwing things up. Or screwing other people up on stage. It's sick, kind of weird. I kind of enjoy it if something goes completely south. The other night in Hamlet, the guy playing the first player, his beard started falling. It's like the greatest moment I've ever been on stage in my life. I just was like, holy crap, what's he gonna do? I was just like watching this dude struggle with it, and I just was like, this is awesome. I mean, I came alive for the first time on stage through the whole night. I was like, oh, awesome! His beard's gonna fall off. So I like things like that. Actually, it gives me a big charge when something goes wrong. You know? It wakes you up.
Is there anything you remember when you're doing a production or you're on a film? Is there anything that you remember specifically from when you were at Choate that you use when you're on stage, or anything any advice your teachers gave you?
Well, I mean, certainly the productions, The Children of a Lesser God that Dr. Gersh is mentioning, and the Greater Tuna that we did, the seriousness with which stuff was done here, those two plays, the discipline with which it was done, I've never actually experienced that again. I mean, we took them so goddamn seriously. And I mean, it was fully done. People were dead goddamn serious about it. And we worked really hard on it. So I mean, just simply the discipline of it was amazing. I mean, I've really rarely encountered that again, especially in film, which is really not a very disciplined medium. And it was incredible, the seriousness with which it was done, and the way they worked us, and how hard everybody worked at it. It was amazing. I mean, we really did learn how to do sign language. On a movie, you would learn how to do it just for that scene. I mean, nobody would care. I mean, nobody would care. I mean, it was incredibly serious. So just simply that discipline and seriousness about it was always fascinating.
How did you mentally prepare yourself to play these characters?
Do I mentally prepare myself? Geez, that's a really good question. That's a lifelong thing to figure out the mental game of acting. You know, the biggest thing is trying to just relax. You know, mentally, it just depends. I mean, every time it's a different challenge psychically. You know, I mean, this thing I'm doing now, I'm terrified every time I have to do it. I don't want to do it. And I really don't. I sit off stage just going, I don't want to do it. And there's famous stories of guys leaving in the middle of a line from him, just walking off stage. So like, I want to do this. So, and then I know though that if I step out there, it'll just sweep me along and I'll be okay. Because it's a lot stronger. The play is stronger than I'll ever be. The dialogue is stronger than I'll ever be. The words have more energy than I'll ever have. So I just relax. I've learned how to trust that kind of thing. The other actors are better than me, and the piece is stronger than me, so it can just carry it along. But different parts require different kinds of preparation. I never know. But nervousness is a thing that you struggle with.
If you had any advice to give any students who specifically are into theater or filmmaking, and they're looking to pursue a career in it, what would that be?
Jeez, I'm so the last guy to give anybody advice. Not to sound facetious, but I would advise that you immediately ignore anybody's advice. Immediately discard anything anybody tells you about how to do it. And the quotation that Dr. Curtis put out applies to acting and the acting profession in a big way. Is to embrace being not prepared for it. Being prepared to embrace how risky and messy it is, and not expect it to fall into clean lines, and not try to make it fall into clean lines. Because it's a very messy profession, and you just have to be ready to go with what a crazy crap storm it is. It's not. You just have to go with it. Enjoy that about it. Just scare it. It's not very good advice or very encouraging. Very pleasant, but it's true to some extent.
I think we have time for one more question, if you're okay with that?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, one more question.
Sure. You guys?
So when you were first starting out the film, was there anything that really took you by surprise when you first got on, or when they were approaching you for whether you were looking for one?
Well, like I say, all that stuff with the camera being jammed up my nose was surprising and stuff like that. I was surprised. I remember this sounds weird, but again, in that first movie I did, I was surprised when I had to play a stable boy. There was actually a horse there, and they showed me how to brush it. They showed me how to do it. And I suddenly thought, but if this was a play, there wouldn't be a real horse here. And I suddenly know what the hell to do with a real horse. I was like, this is boring. This is weird. What do I have to do? I don't have to do anything anymore. I don't have to use my imagination. It's a weird thing to say, but it was the most surprising thing about film to me, was to realize that it's very literal. It's an incredibly literal medium. It's literally, all this stuff is literally going to be given to you. You're going to literally, drive the car. It's just bizarre. And I still haven't gotten used to it because I don't use my imagination. So I'd rather be somewhere where I have to use my imagination. I don't know, does that make any sense? Did I answer your question at all?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you very much. Students who are free during Block A are welcome to meet with Mr. Giamatti over in the